Oh, hello there, Site 42 staff. Welcome to another Anomalous broadcast from Site 42. This is a coffee break with Dr. Theron Sherman. I, of course, am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director of Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. I am here, of course, to answer your SCP Foundation-related questions, whether it's about the anomalies that we contain and their containment procedures, whether it's about the staff members, the groups of interest that are our rivals, or maybe hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies not found in the SCP fandom. Either way, good to see you guys in the chat. Hope you're doing well. I am just setting up the quick moderation fixes that will allow Desk to do his job effectively. Glory to the Desk. Shout out to everyone who's coming from Desk's stream right into this. Now, a quick reminder, while I am on a stakeout in the field, I cannot easily see donations that are under $5. So if I miss one for a little bit, I apologize. I'll do my best to go find it. And please remind me if I happen to miss your donation. Otherwise, Chaos Goblin, Dr. Redacted, and German Girl, welcome to the chat. Thank you for being here just for being you. Alki the Demon, Pinky, Josh. Good to see you in the chat thank you for being members. Dr. Darkstar, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a scoop of gelato on your way past the commissary. Back and ready for your first assignment? All right, what I want you to do is I'm assigning you on mental health affect duty for SCP-3092. Those gorillas need some enrichment, and I want you to play some guerrilla warfare with them. That'll be a good warm-up for your return. Meanwhile, oh, there's another one here, but it's not coming up. Jonathan, thank you for your first donation for this stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a scoop of ice cream on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, the boiled one is not an SCP, but if it were, how would you contain it? Well, real quick, Chaos Goblin Dogs, thank you for your first donation. Grab yourself a scoop of sherbet on your way past the commissary. The boiled one, eh? I know there's a lot to that anomaly, so I probably will not be able to do that in a quick segment like this. But I will pull up its main database entry to see what I can find on a quick look. Now, meanwhile, as a reminder, this is a coffee break with Dr. Sherman, which is the shortest of our streams. The current time is 3:12 p.m. local time, and we'll be streaming until 3:45. That leaves you 33 minutes left in the chat, just for those keeping track of the time. Tall, lanky humanoid entity with raw crimson skin, misshapen head, melted appearance, gaping mouth with many teeth, large human eyes, hair-like appendages jutting out from head in straight lines, a black cloak. Hijacks broadcast. That makes it very difficult to contain its message, but we could feasibly use artificial intelligence constructs to pull down the broadcast as soon as they were found, as well as we need to amnesticize people who saw the broadcast as well. . Now, does it have any physical abilities, or is it just broadcasting itself? It did get turned into a marketable plushie. That would make it much easier to contain, so let's just get that plushie in a box, huh? That sounds like a perfect way to contain it. Jacob, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some hot cocoa on your way past the commissary. Hey, so PetSmart gave me a biblically accurate angel. Now it is in the corner of my bedroom staring and judging me. What do I do? You know, I didn't know PetSmart had access to that level of anomaly. Well, as long as it's just sitting in the corner judging you, I have no problems with it. Leave it where it is. I will ping security to your quarters, and they will handle it from there. Just don't make any sudden movements or commit any grievous sins. Dr. Darkstar, thank you for donating again. Permission to bring Medic Foxtrot and Mobile Task Force Team Lead Maximus with me. They are family, after all, and military fanatics like me. Well, you will need those brave military minds to handle the war games of SCP-3092, so sure, let's give you a little bit of an advantage. Andy, thank you for your first donation to this stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a cup of cheer on your way past the commissary. Wonder if I can chug a bottle of wine before stream end. That seems like an unhealthy thing to do, and also you shouldn't be drinking at work unless you are specifically off shift on a break of some kind, not like an evening break, not like a 30, obviously. I'm not drinking during my coffee break, thank you. Unless you are a worshiper of SCP-5320, the long boy that just goes on forever, the longest infinite fish. And in that case, drinking and work is part of your religious doctrine, and we don't discriminate. So, amen. Mine Wolf, thank you for your first donation to this stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a refreshing Italian ice on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, what happens if we meanwhile in Australia 682? We did that. That happened already. SCP-5883? No, don't replace that one. SCP-5883 in the database. Oh, you get one number wrong and it ruins everything. So, anomalous internet meme. Dr. Clef got meanwhiled. Ba-da-da. Where is it? On January 1st, 2021, a critical containment breach occurred in Western Australia. The precipitating event was an aerial transfer of SCP-682 to a new high-security containment at Site 45, aborted due to a Chaos Insurgency attack on the site itself. Lacking the fuel to return to their point of origin, the anesthetics to keep 682 sedated for an extended period, or a safe location in which to land, the crew of the cargo plane opted to fly to high enough altitude and eject the anomalous passenger. A fall of 37,000 feet temporarily disabled SCP-682. It did not recover before order was restored at Site 45 and was safely moved to its new containment cell, which, hilariously, dropping 682 from 37,000 feet, I would love to see a recording. On receipt of the incident report, staff at Site 17 with SCP-682 experience expressed their appreciation for the cargo plane crew's solution to their dilemma. This resulted in the creation of an instance of SCP-5883, a, quote, meanwhile in Australia meme, featuring the database image of SCP-682 flipped upside down, as seen in the file. SCP-682 exhibited remarkable docility and amiability when it returned to consciousness, conversing with its handlers in polite and verbose statements. It was assumed that the fall had somehow damaged its brain. As the meanwhile in Australia meme had fallen out of fashion long before 2021, it was briefly novel again again to Foundation staff, who used it on many people and caused a whole bunch of problems. So yeah, we did meanwhile in Australia 682, and it worked. For a time at least. Dr. Darkstar, thank you for donating again. Oh yeah, I can't have gelatin, carnivorous dragon and all. I'll grab a cold can of lemonade instead. Ah, okay, good catch, good catch. Yes, please take care of any dietary efforts you need in my offerings from the commissary. Andy, thank you for donating again. SCP-682 drop test. Will it break? Well, apparently not. Hey, Dr. Sherman. Sorry I've missed the last few streams. The D-class have been very rioty recently. How are you? Well, I'm doing all right, intern nomad, although if the D-class are getting uppity, we can, in fact, gas the chamber and just start with a new set of D-class. I mean, you don't want rebellious D-class. That is the quickest way to a containment breach I know of. Kyla, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a Dr. Pepper on your way past the commissary. Tagged you on Twitter of beginning sketch. Oh, I can open that application real quick. All right, mentions. I'm not seeing a notification for that, unfortunately. Kyla, perhaps drop your @ so I can search it up and see what's going on over there. I might have to adjust my notification settings in some manner. Or maybe Desk will drop me a link in a minute. Isn't there an SCP that is a dimension where everything died? I forgot the number, but the Foundation think of sending 682 there. There is the dimension that everything died in, and we do know that 682 was dead in that universe. The problem with it is, if I remember correctly, it said if you send something there, whatever it is comes and kills your world too. There's a reason why we're not putting our 682 in there, for sure. Checking the chat. Thank you, Andy, for donating again. Doc, if you had a fursona, what would it be? Okay, so before I point that out, not a furry. I have no problem with furries, but if I were to have one thing you get put through in theater classes, if you've never experienced it, is you do a lot of body discipline exercises, changing your posture and the way you stand and the way you talk to learn how to impersonate or act as others. And for me, the characters I would always play had the same affect as peacocks. Very grand, very princely. And so if I were to have a fursona, it would actually be a feather sona or whatever they call those, because yeah, it would probably be a peacock. Dr. Sherman has been turned into a cat-made waifu before. Hey, I have absolutely not. Only 049 has been shoved into the cat-made waifu dimension. Now, you may be mistaking the extended work trip that I had to commit to in the Catboy dimension. Very similar, very adjacent, but very different, okay? Okay. Ash Lover, thank you for your first donation to this stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a cup of Jell-O on your way past the commissary. Hey Doc, what does my room look like? Well, obviously it's a standard humanoid containment cell, although with good behavior, you are allowed to have some things to liven up the space. We could get you some books and some magazines, a bookshelf, some furniture, but not if you're going to cause trouble for the Foundation. Those are benefits. There we go. Kyla, thank you for donating again to give me the @ I am traveling there now. Toyomitsu. Oh, what a nice little sketch. Let me just adjust the chat so I can see still. Yeah, that's a good little starter sketch. Hell, far better than anything I could ever draw. I do not draw good. So, very nice. Dr. Sherman, did you hear about the circus fire? It was intense. Ash Lover, thank you for donating again. According to my lore, I became an SCP as a kid. Many anomalous humanoids did develop their powers in their youth, sometimes as a part of puberty or something like that. It is a very standard story, a painful story that people go through, but that's okay. We keep them safe and contained and everything's fine. Iron Boy, what's my favorite SCP? Well, we are 20 minutes from the end of stream, and as a stream tradition, I always tell you my favorite SCPs at the end of stream. So if you're in 20 minutes, you can know. Otherwise, just head back to the last stream, because I did it there too. It's a tradition. Do you know the Muffin Man? Well, I forget if we have that entity in containment, but it's worth a shot. I wouldn't be shocked. Come on, this has got to be it. And if I search... Da, 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 da. No, that's not a Muffin Man. Oh, it is an English Muffin Man. I see. So not quite the Muffin Man unless you count a English muffin as a man. But that's not quite the same. Well, sadly, I do not feel like we have the Muffin Man in containment, so I am not quite familiar with that anomaly. Dr. Dark Star, thank you for donating again. Hey, would I be allowed to build a one-to-one recreation of Kit from the OG show with the Super Pursuit mode and have that as my Foundation car? You're gonna have to talk to the motor pool to see what kind of anomalous tech they could put together for such a thing. On top of which, where are we gonna find that in the budget? You gonna pull some extra shifts? I mean, we gotta work this out because that sounds like an expensive project. What happens if you put the Gate Guardian into the ocean? That's assuming we could move the Gate Guardian, which we have not been able to do. So I don't know. Researcher Fair, You said earlier that humanoids only get some personal items. In my dimension, we let humanoid enemies decorate their cells however they like. It reduces containment occurrences. Well, yes, containment breaches will be reduced if they feel at home, and that's part of the privileges. You know, if they are following proper protocols and not trying to breach, then yeah, we give them some personal effects. It is good for their mental health. That's how we try and do our best. It's just they don't get those items if they're not behaving. Mozzarella Kitsune, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a tomato and some balsamic vinegar on your way past the commissary. Finally, an intern here. Also saw a photo called 096. You saw nothing. So I guess you're fine because you saw nothing. That's lucky for you. Congratulations. Ash Lover, thank you for donating again. Can I get stuffy ones? I'm there. And do you know my time warping friend name is Time Warper God? Look at how I am from comments of last stream spin. Well, that is a very, I don't like time warpers. They are always a hassle to contain. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. Dr. Darkstar, thank you for donating again. I will pull extra shifts. I love the OG show. I would love to drive Kit, but at the same paint color as my scales of a midnight blue. In my off time, when there's not any site-wide karaoke party or anything happening, I have been known to play a little bit of the Fortnite, and they just had Kit as a vehicle purchase, and so I did have to get that because I also enjoy that Anomalous automobile. Amber, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. Hey, off work early. Glad to catch the stream. How's you? Well, fair and all right. We've had a pretty good single start stream, and now we're in the bonus stream. And so can't argue with that. That's a good day. And looking at the time check here, we're at 3:30, 3:31 to be accurate, and that means we have 14 minutes left in this coffee break. And it also means a reminder of your gay homework in case you weren't here earlier. A reminder that we had our yesterday's homework, content warning. This is still a foundation story after all. The reason of which I wanted you to see that article as your Site 42 pridefest SCP recommendation of the day yesterday is because A, it brings up something I've told to you guys a whole lot, which is the story of a researcher who got turned into a shape-shifting cat girl by SCP-113, the gender-switching stone, because it has unpredictable effects on non-binary people. So I wanted you to see that. On top of which, it is actually a very decent version of writing your OC onto the wiki. Not a lot of stories like that survive very well because it's usually a blatant OC insertion story, but very often that can be done well. And in fact, Radiger, our friend of the channel and fellow SCP YouTube person, SCP author, and excellent SCP podcaster, just dropped a video on their channel today about self-inserts and the SCP Wiki that I highly recommend you check out because it's a damn fine video and they deserve the views. So, suggesting you check that out as well as talking about self-inserting on the wiki in good and or bad ways. Now, reminder, your SCP gay homework for today, as is pinned in the chat, is SCP-8882, codename Space Ghost Coast to Coast. SCP-8882, codename Space Ghost Coast to Coast, is your gay homework for the day. So, now with that little bit of stream business out of the way, I got some donations in here I need to check on real quick. Dr. Dark Star, thank you for donating again. By the 3 moons of Pyria, what? I am booting up Fortnite now. It was a couple days ago. I don't know if it's still in the shop. So, careful on that. Ash Lover, thank you for donating again. When you coming? I won't run, just comfy and human body. Well, that is up to how fast our security staff handles the scenario. I cannot control them for the life of me as much as I could. I'm only a site director, I'm not a god. Dr. Sherman, where should I send fan art? Because I do want to show you what I drew yesterday, but it is in the comments over on your TikTok, the Victory Friday comments, so yeah. I think the best place to be sending fan art right now is in the fan art channel of the Site42 Discord server. That I can peek at every once in a while. Also, if you're going to do that, leave a message saying, hey, you can share this or use it for things if you want me to be able to do that, because sometimes I want to show it on stream. But I don't want to call people out who don't want to be called out. I don't want to do that, so I want to make sure I've got consent to show the art and all that where I can. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for your first donation to this stream. Make sure to grab yourself a can of the good stuff on your way past the commissary. Glad I'm on groundkeeping duty. It's nice out today. It is pretty good weather in my area. Thankfully, I happen to be in a place where I'm dodging the heat wave, so lucky me. Where is the link to the server? It is located in a couple of locations that I'm sure someone would willingly tell you about, but I like to make it a Easter egg hunt. Also, if you're trying to find it anyways, make sure you're of age, because just like the SCP Wiki membership is limited to 18 and up, so is our Discord server. Because the SCP Wiki has a lot of adult themes, so we gotta be careful with that. It is just professional courtesy for the world. Charlie 10 Pro, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself an apple cider on your way past the commissary. Why is one of the SCPs a Bismarck, the battleship? How is it an SCP? What does it do? Isn't the Bismarck alive? Isn't that the trick there? SCP Bismarck. SCP-4217 is the Bismarck. And of course the wiki breaks when I try and look it up. Refers to both the Bismarck and the large cephalopod organism that is fused to the inside of its hull. So there's some sort of squid-like entity attached to the interior of the battleship. And now it is, as Jonathan says, generally a douchebag. Recognizing the bodies in the water is medically inadvisable. I would suggest you go to medical to get some amnestics before anything bad happens to you. After a month of surprise overtime and figuring out Kryta, I finally made Pixel Clef. Well, that sounds pretty cool. Silly boy, you can also tag that art on Twitter and Threads and Blue Sky. We have accounts on all three, so we can extend our reach to anybody in any place. So you can hit us up there as well. Axo the Artificer, welcome to Site42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Doma, I don't care if you don't like amnestics. You're going to die. Go take the amnestics. You're like Perline. Oh, we're in a vampire apocalypse, but I don't want to eat the garlic because I don't like how it tastes. You're gonna die if you don't. Sheesh. Dr. Sherman, I was curious. Since we know SCP-049 can reanimate corpses, could it reanimate a skeleton of a human if it was able to inject fluids into the bones themselves or no? I have a feeling the answer is no, only because if 049 could do that, we would have seen it by now. So I have a feeling that is not likely one of its abilities. How do you contain something shattered across space and time? So usually something that is shattered across space and time, we have to find the pieces of it. And that means that we're going to have to deal with it in a sadly terrifying trans-dimensional time-traveling manner. It's really resource intensive to go and pick up all the pieces. And essentially we can't bring the pieces, if we could bring the pieces together, we would just do that so it's all in one place. But usually things get temporarily locked and dimensionally locked when they get shattered through space and time. So you have to go to each individual piece in its time and dimensional coordinates and contain it there, which is just so much effort. It's so much resources. Ash Lover, thank you for donating again. Gives 999 3,000 candy bracelets, then disappear. That's too much candy for one feeding. I'm going to have security remove some of those before 999 engorges itself on candy. It's allowed to have probably, I'd say, one bracelet. I'd say its allotment for candy bracelets is probably going to be about a maximum 20 to 30 bracelets at a time. Silly boy, I guess the last thing you can do is you can send it to our business email if you don't have any other social media for some reason. The Forest Eyes, time check. Well, we are 4 minutes from the end of stream, people. We are 4 minutes from the end of stream. Hey, Desk, let me know if you're streaming again after this coffee break so we know where people can go. Gaster, I asked because the SCP I'm making is shattered across space and time, which allow them to interact with anyone from any time in space. Well, yes, but I imagine they'd only be able to communicate with someone in that place they are. Like maybe one of the places they're stuck is Washington, D.C. in 1897. Meanwhile, another piece is going to be over in California in the 1970s. And so you have a researcher using 1970s technology to converse with this partial being that's in conversation with the President of the United States at the same time. You see what I mean? At least that's how I'm imagining it, but of course, I'm just one guy. I'm just one researcher. My hypothetical ideas could probably be very different than yours. Desk is not streaming again after this, so it looks like you will just have to go watch Radiger's video at the meantime after this. And comment and say that Site 42 sent you. That way, Radiger knows that we're sending hype her way. Ash Lover, thank you for donating again. Use 999 bouncing off walls. Oopsie, but they asked so nicely. You remember how you wanted nice things in your room? You're really treading the line of disciplinary action. Hey, sorry for not showing up to the latest streams. Been recovering from surgery and subsisting purely off gas station slushies. Holy cow. Well, I hope you're okay. I'm glad you are active enough to visit again. Trust me, rest and recovery is important, especially for Foundation agents, so do not fret. We're doing daily streams. I don't expect people to show up to every one of them, especially with my schedule being as chaotic as it is. What are your thoughts on SCP-5514? I'll take a look at that real quick before we wrap. I don't remember that anomaly by designation, so we'll see what it is when I pull it up. Ash Lover, thank you for donating again. I'm sorry, I didn't know it won't happen again. Okay, but I'm watching. We're always watching. Jonathan Peters, thank you for donating again. Meanwhile, in Australia's Dr. Sherman. Put it back. Put it back now. I do not have time to play around with this. I am done with the BS of these rambunctious, unprofessional people. I have had it up to here. You are all unforgivable. You will have all demoted to D class. I will not take all of your ish. You're damn right, Desk. Go teach yourself. You're not my problem. I am here. I came here to help, and you threw it in my face. Lohax has aura. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Didn't like that. Let's not meanwhile in Australia me again. I don't like that. Didn't feel good. Foxtrot the Fox, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a bowl of candy on your way past the commissary. Hello, sir. I'm SCP, number not on file. I prefer to be called Foxtrot. I am new to this universe. I wish to assist the Foundation. Know of any sites that could use a couple extra hundred extra hands? Well, the Foundation is always welcoming of assistance. And, hey, Site 42 is right here, so welcome. Cursed Traveler, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself a mozzarella stick on your way past the commissary. Friendly warning, the ocean's depths will flood the lands. The fish are angry. I don't have a choice in the matter. Oh. Well, we'll have to confer with any sea deities we have in containment and see if there's anything we can do to fix that up. But, in the meantime, my opinion on 5514 was Pacific Rim is awesome. I enjoy it, and so I like the Dragon Slayer. Now, I have to end this stream. So, with that, at the end of every stream, I tell you my favorite SCPs, not the SCPs that I wrote. That would be cheating. You can see my SCPs at the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP Wiki. And while you're there, there's some donation links. You can become a patron, a YouTube channel member, do a super chat, or do a Ko-Fi. Any of those are fine and much appreciated. And even if you can't directly donate to Site 42, as long as you're watching, liking the streams, sharing us around, subscribing, doing all that YouTube business, then you are a member of Mobile Task Force Site 42, codename the Signal Boosters. And it's up because of you that Site 42 has the power to share SCP films and games and art and all of that and help those authors get better as they go, get more resources, get more eyes on them. I can't do it without you guys. I'm just the site director. You guys are the real muscle here. Death Player, welcome to overseership here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership upgrade. So, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, 50315-175-5320, and 8980. Content warning on the last one. That one's rough. One more time through. 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, 5031-5175-5320, and 8980. Last one's a bit of a rough read. Be careful. This has been Site Director Dr. Theron Sherman for another coffee break from Site 42, a bonus stream of our Anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Don't forget your gay homework, SCP-8882, and I will see you all in the next video or stream. As always, secure, contain, protect. You're crashing into me like waves on the coast. Every time we talk, you're moving close. I don't want you to stop. I don't want you to stop tonight. We got the last 2 glasses on a straw hut bar, trying to remember what number we are. String of white lights making your eyes shine tonight. We're buzzing like that no vacancy sign out front. Your skin is begging to be kissed by a little more than the sun. You take my hand in yours, you lean in, and your lips taste like sangria. Your lips taste like sangria.